Good evening. This is Doc Severson for the ReadySetCrypto OMNIA trade of the day for Monday, the 9th of August. All right, so much for that 200-day moving average. You can see Bitcoin versus the US dollar just knifing through that level, this green line. And, as we talked about yesterday, I didn't give it all that much credence that it was going to provide overhead resistance. And so far it's not. So that's all good. So going out to the weekly chart, we can see that the more that this 1, 2, 3, 4 week now long move rises up here, the stronger that this move is going to be. Because what we're seeing is more and more of this sort of emotion coming into the market in a very positive way, which are the shorts scrambling to get out by buying back their positions. That adds demand. And then everybody by now is seeing what's going on and saying, hey, let me get on board before this thing runs away. Psychologists have proved that sitting on the sideline, watching a market run away from you is emotionally about the most taxing thing that you could go through. Actually, taking a loss is less stressful than sitting on the sidelines, watching a market run away without you. So we'll talk about a couple of things here in today's report, ways that we can keep our brain engaged for this and not just completely get swept away. So the first thing I want to do is I want to say, all right, what's the last line of defense for the bears? Let's flip the equation on its head and go from the top to the bottom of this move. And what we're seeing is the price has, throughout this bear move here, which has taken 1, 2, 3 months, and we've seen the rebound starting in July, and then this is the second month now as we get into day 9 of this rally. So we've come back up to the 50% retracement. The 38.2 was the first place that this could have died. Just died, rolled over, and said, thank you very much for a greater shorting point. The 50% is also important, and the price is there right now as we speak. So what we have is the last line of defense for the bears, and this level is about 51,000. So 51,000. If we see the price get through 51,000, and actually I hope it doesn't do this on this swing because I don't want it to go too far before we retrench, pull back, set up a higher low, and then stick it to the bears. So keep that number in mind. Once we're above 51, and it would seem like, wow, I'm missing out on everything. But you can be sure after 51, there's a much, much higher probability that this thing is not going to be any kind of a bull trap. Let's put the energy on this, and isn't this amazing? This is what I was talking about here. So all this energy has come out of the market, as you can see by the yellow line, almost at exhaustion as we got into early July. The price was putting in lower highs and lower lows. It was a very linear move, and we were facing exhaustion to the downside. And I made the comment back then to say, if the price actually breaks higher from here, it's going to restore energy. Look at what's happened. The weekly chart is now massively charged up. So what has happened is this entire decision box has been nothing but a coiling spring for the price to wind up for. So it's just been building energy, and we knew range expansion leads to range contraction, which leads to range expansion again. We knew that we were going to get some kind of massive move out of here, and just to watch the price levels to find out which way it's going. Well, guess what? It's going to the upside right now. So I know that sounds obvious, but when we're in this mode here, so let's go hard right edge for a minute. The path of least resistance was to the downside, and it would have been easy for me to get really bearish back then. But the message I was trying to tell everybody was, look, if it comes down here and it reverses, it's going to be so loaded with negative energy. All that negative sentiment gets unwound to the upside, and that's exactly what we saw. I've seen it 100 times before, and this is why you've always got to keep your options open. You've got to remain without bias when you look at the market. And oh, by the way, that's why I just set up the fibs on the move back down to understand whether or not this is just going to throw in a massive lower high and roll over again and become another bull trap, or whether this is something real. So far, this looks really real, and we'll know based on the next pullback and set up from there. Again, we saw this happen on the daily chart. This happened just days ago on the daily chart. We said, okay, this needs to set up a lower high, came down to 38.2 exactly, and then broke above there 4 days ago. So on the Friday, I mean, this is perfect market action. You can't ask for anything more. I could actually ask for a little bit more volume, but everything has to be reset after China's kind of backed away from what's going on here. And believe me, they'll find some way to add their own volume to this as well. So the news is really good and it just continues to go. So look at the energy on the daily chart. Look at the energy on the weekly chart. It's massive. Look at the energy on the monthly chart. It's above exhaustion. This thing is perfectly set up to short squeeze like crazy. So I invite it to do so. All right, looking at Ethereum, what is going on with Ethereum? Well, it continues to rip to the upside. We can see the strong weekly move and down to the daily chart. Everything looks really good. And it's actually working in a way as to set up the greatest amount of, it's consolidating along the way, which is actually awesome because this almost keeps it perpetually rising from this point. Now let's look at some other coins down here. Just about everything is up 4, 5, 6% or so. So we're seeing some strong ones here, like Litecoin is finally joining the party. We have Theta has been good for a while. So again, just about everything is recovering nicely from this. We have Dash is joining the party once again. Only a couple of these are red. Some of the former rock stars that we've had, like Axie Infinity, really setting up a nice flag up there. Hex is way ahead of itself. It's gotten way over the tips of its skis, so this needs to consolidate for quite a while longer. Some of these other ones are catching up as well, like OXT. And let's see, that's about it for today. So Decentraland, you know, coins like this are playing catch up. Some of the bottom of the top 20 or bottom of the top 50 plus any other altcoins that are out there are playing catch up right now. But focus on the top two. That will kind of give you the North Star. Everything looks really good today. That's it for today's report. Good luck out there. See you tomorrow.